Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kemi, and I'm here to talk about Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 3. So we start the episode with the bombshell steal. So again, that was Sierra taking Nick, and then we find out that Charlie, Ace, and Bella are now vulnerable because they're all single. So the guys go off to one side and the girls go off to the other side, and they're each talking about how they're feeling and everything. And Nick is basically saying that he decided to stand up because he does have an attraction to Bella, but they haven't elevated their relationship. And what I gather from that is they haven't kissed because she's on that strict um no kissing on first date. So every guy that has kissed her has been on the cheek. So I think that's what I'm gathering from that. But hey, it is what it is. So Taylor talks about how he's mad that when he came back and sat down, Olandria she scooted over from him or whatever. And Jeremiah was just like, so she mad that you stood up, but it was okay for her to go and kiss Ace. And he was just like, exactly, what's the double standard? Like, why you mad at me for standing up when you went and kissed Ace? Like, that's not cool. And it's just like, yeah, I get that, I get it. So like, yeah, she can't be mad about that. So I understand what he's saying. So we see Alendria and Bella are talking, and before they can really like get into it, they see Huda crying. And Alendria is just like, what's going on? What's wrong with her? Oh my god, why is she crying? And Bella was just like, I think she's crying because of, that little to the tat that y'all had. And Alendra was just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. That's like, why would she be crying? And so Bella was just like, she took it as, um, it was like, she took it as a negative way. Bella tells her that the way that Olendria said it to her, it was like you was doing too much. And so she took that as a negative way. And Olendria was just like, dang, that's not how I was trying to, you know, like how I was wanting it to come across. I was just like saying, like, oh girl, we gonna talk about this later. This gonna be a real good little, we really gonna like go in and let have when we get to the vanity room or whatever. And she was just like, should I go check on her? And Bella was just like, well, give her a minute. So we get to Huda and Chelley, and Huda's crying, talking about, I can't believe she did that. Why would she talk to me like that in front of everybody? I don't even know, like, I don't know the bombshells and I barely know the guys. And it's just like, yeah, that's your fault that you don't know the guys, because literally, like, you haven't talked to any of the other guys. Like, when she said that, I had to think back, and I was just like, she real life hasn't talked to any other guy. Like, she is only really talking to Jeremiah and the little side conversations or talks that she's having with the other guys. Like, because I see her like for the first time talking to another guy this episode, and that was just Nick, and she was talking to him about the whole Bella and Sierra situation. So it's just like, you real life haven't really talked to any of the other guys. And like, um Ace says it like after this little conversation that they have. Ace well, yeah, so she's crying about that situation, and it was just like Chelley was just like, she ain't mean it like that, you guys will talk like X, Y, and Z, and then she stops crying or whatever. So Austin is talking about, he talks to the guys and he's telling them how he feels like, sorry, he's talking to the guys and he's telling them how he feels like crap because he stood up. Um, because he thought that Chelley was gonna stand up because she was, she had been talking to Charlie or whatever, and it didn't feel good. So Ace, here we go, back to Ace. So Ace tells the guys, he was just like, I really want all of you guys to explore explore things. And he was just like, telling Jeremiah, like, I really want you to explore. And then Jeremiah was just like, but why? Like, if we got a good thing, why do we, why do I need to explore? And so he asked, like, guys, do any of y'all feel like Huda's approachable? And the guys were just like, nah. And Jeremiah was just like, well, that's good. She shouldn't be approachable because we're locked in. And it's just like, so Ace says they're setting like Huda and Jeremiah, yeah, they're setting a false narrative because he was just like even when everybody like the guys had stood up and she was just like, oh, y'all wrong for standing up. Like, y'all are setting a false narrative that everybody should be stuck with the couple that they're in since day one. And that's not it. And it's just like, it's the truth. Like, y'all not even, again, y'all aren't even trying. Like, y'all aren't even trying to mingle or get to know other people. And it's just like, as the viewing audience, well, at least for me, my thing is, why do I want y'all to stay in the house at this point? Like, if y'all are that set in your ways, like y'all aren't even going to try to talk to anybody and y'all have found y'all match, y'all can go. Y'all really can go. Like, honestly, like, y'all can go. Like, I'm not gonna vote for you to win because you didn't play the way that you should. You were just stuck in your ways to talk to this person or be with this person. And it's like, okay, so y'all found each other on day one. Okay, bye. Like, no, don't stay to the end. I won't vote for you as my favorite couple because y'all not, because y'all are fake. Y'all haven't even gone through any trials or tribulations or even tried to. Like, Sierra and Bella, they got their thing going on. Ace is talking to different girls. Bella's talking to different guys. Nick is talking to different girls. Like, everybody's talking to different people, except for y'all. And also, no, yeah, Taylor's talking to different people. Olandria, she's talked to different people, but she ain't really seen nobody. So it's just like she's cool with being, with Taylor. But she's said, like, if somebody else catches my attention, I'm gonna pursue it. Just like he said, if somebody else catches my attention, I'm gonna pursue it. So it's like, okay, so y'all said that. So it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like, y'all are talking, but it's okay if y'all find somebody else. But Huda and Jeremiah, y'all aren't even trying. Like, no, like, y'all can go, honestly. Like, boom, bye. I'm Like I said, I'm not voting for you as a favorite couple. I'm gonna vote for y'all to go because no, ma'am. So we see Huda and Olandria talk, and Olandria tells her like what her intentions were, and she apologizes, like, that wasn't my intention to come at you that way. I was just like, letting you know, like, it wasn't that serious for me, and I'm good, and we gonna chop it up later. And so they, hug it out or whatever, and Taylor comes over. So Olandria and Taylor talk, and she basically tells him like, um because he said that he had told her like, I wanted to explore with her, that's why I stood up. And she was just like, you could have still explored with her without standing up. Like, i felt I felt itty, like that. I felt like ish, like, you didn't have to stand up for her, because like, y'all, like, she's just like, what, how does that look, that a 5-minute conversation that you had with her would make you jeopardize this big connection that we have with each other? And it's just like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like, he at least put it out there that, like, yeah, I want to get to know her so she knows that, what's up. So he basically explains that, and then she's just like, you know what, you're right, and I do apologize for how I acted. So they on a good term. So again, they decide like, we good talking, but if somebody else comes to turn our like, turn our eyes or whatever, we're okay to let each other explore. So it's just like, okay, so we cool. Shelley and Austin talk, and he's like telling her like, he felt bad that, he stood up, but he was glad that he stood up because he got out of his comfort zone. And she was just like, I understand. She was like, I'm not mad that you stood up. I was just surprised because it was just like, I didn't even know that y'all talk. So I'm glad that you got out your comfort zone, but I'm still trying, like me, and like I'm still building something with you. So that's why I didn't stand up for Charlie, because I didn't want to stand up for him and then be coupled up with him while I'm still trying to build something with you. So that's why I didn't stand up. And he was just like, okay, I get it. I get it. I understand. So they're good. So, everybody's getting ready for bed, and they all each have their little individual talks and all of that stuff. So Ace, Ace is Ace is a menace. Like, he is a menace. When I tell you, this boy was a menace this whole episode. So he pulls Chelley for a chat. So they go to the speakeasy, and he's like, checking on her. Like, I was just, checking on you, making sure you're good. Cause I was just like, wow, I can't believe old boy stood up. Like, she was just like, yeah, um, yeah, I was shocked too, and all. So they were talking or whatever, and then he was just like, "Man, come smell this real quick." And she was just like, "Why?" He was just like, "Come smell this real quick." So she bent down to smell it, and then he gave her a forehead kiss. I was just like, I was just like, "This man is smooth," and she was just like, "I cannot with you." She was just all giddy and stuff, and she was just like, "You play too much." So she was. It was just like, "Girl, you like that. You thought that was cute." They were so cute. Oh, I can't wait to see the recoupling. I cannot wait. I hope they get coupled up together, because I can't wait. So everybody goes, everybody gets in the bed and they go to bed. And so, they're showing the couples, like they say who's single, and then they show the couples. And the last couple that they show is Huda and Jeremiah. And they just moving way too fast. Like, they just they getting it on in the bed, like not like that, but they're heavy makeout session. Probably went to second base, maybe they went to second base, maybe even third, who knows. But I don't know if they went to third, but I know they got to second base, because they was doing the absolute most in that little montage that we saw. And it was just like, this is only y'all second night. It's just too much. It's like, and I keep saying they remind me of like Johnny and Celly and Kendall and Nicole. And I low key want to take that back, because they weren't even that bad. Like the first couple of nights, they were not this bad. Like, it's like, oh my goodness. Like, I just I'm like baffled by how fast they're going. And it's just a turn. Well, at least for me, I don't know about everybody else, but for me, them as a couple, they're a turn off. They're a red flag. They're an ick. It's just like, ugh, like too much, too much, too much. But okay, so we get to the next day, and everybody's getting, all the girls are getting ready, and the guys are downstairs cooking breakfast. So Ace brings Chelley, Olandria, and Bella breakfast. And I was just like, oh, that's so cute. Taylor brings Olandria breakfast. And I think Austin may have brought Chelley breakfast too, or maybe he brought her some fruits, because I feel like when Ace brought her the food, she already had a plate of like grapes and fruits in front of her. So he may have brought her like a tray of fruits or something or whatever. So I was just like, oh, that's so cute. And as Ace is leaving after he done dropped off the food, Chelley was just like, oh, you look good in the green. And he was just like, don't flirt with me right now. I was just like, y'all are so cute. Oh gosh. So Huda and Jeremiah, they eat breakfast together, and she's talking about how she feels like they're in a good place. Um they're in a good place. And in her confessional, she was just like, yeah, I feel like we're in a good place, and I feel like I'm ready to tell him that I have a daughter. And she was just like, I feel like as they were talking, she was just like, man, I feel like we're the parents or whatever. And Jeremiah was just like, yeah, like we're the mom and dads. And I was just like, oh my god, so we're going with that, y'all are mom and dad. Where have I heard that before? Okay, child. Okay. So we see Nick and Sarah. They eat breakfast. No, not Sarah. Sierra. Sorry. We see Nick and Sierra together. They're eating breakfast, and then they decide to go to the photo booth. So while they're in the photo booth, we see Huda and Bella talking, and Bella's like she's emotional. She's crying, and she was like she feels small, and she always feels like she's being looked over and passed over for things, and she's felt like that like even outside of here. So she's basically feeling like with this whole thing with Nick, she feels like she's just like basically she's like second choice basically, and it's like that's not a good feeling. So she was just like she was in the confessional, and she was just like, I'm not crying about this, I'm not crying about Nick, I'm not crying over a boy, I'm just crying about the situation because this always happens. But me crying, it's a sign of growth because I'm growing or whatever. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm happy for her. And I really like Bella. I hope she finds someone. I do. Because I think she seems like a cool chick. I like that she's like set in her ways. She says she's not gonna do this, so she's not gonna do this. And it's like I like that. I like that about her. I do hope she finds someone. I wanted her to talk to Charlie, but as we get to the later part of the night, we're gonna talk about it. Man. So Nick and Huda are talking, and they're talking about the situation. So again, this is like the first time I've seen Huda talk to a guy outside of Jeremiah. And in this situation, she's basically telling him that you need to talk to Bella and just like tell her what your thought process was, like let her know what's up, and just talk to her. And like you've been playing around, like you ain't talked to her since this thing happened. And it's just like, you okay? Like you could at least yeah, I understand you coupled up with Sierra, now you spent the night with Sierra, but like we've been, I don't know how long the day has been at this point, but like you could have at least pulled her to chat so that you could talk to her about, just reassure her or explain, but he ain't done it yet. So it's just like, okay, girl. So he says that since he's coupled up with Sierra, he wanted to spend this day with Sierra and then talk to Bella the next day because he don't want to keep going back and forth. And it was just like, that's not cool. Like, yeah, I understand that you coupled up with Sierra, but you should still give Bella that talk. Like you should still talk to her. Like let her know what happened, because based off of the conversation that y'all had before this whole bombshell steal, y'all were in a good place. Like her thought processes wasn't that you were even thinking about coupling up with this girl or even going in that direction with her. So the fact that you blindsided her just by getting up to go couple up with this girl, and it's just like, where did that come from? So you really need to talk to her to let her know where that came from. So we see Charlie and Bella talking. So he's trying to get to know her. He lets her know that he wanted to take her into the hideaway, but he didn't think that she would be comfortable because of the whole, you know, I don't kiss on the first day, because he gave her a kiss when on the cheek when they did the whole thing because he was respecting her boundaries. So I was just like, that's what's up. At least you didn't make her uncomfortable, but at the same time you say all of that, but you've been outside of the hideaway a whole day and you barely talk to her. So, okay. Hmm. So Alendria and Taylor, they do talk again, and they just like clarify exactly where they're going and how they're going to go move forward. So she apologizes because like they talked about it the night before that, but they didn't really go into detail for it. So she did have to sleep on it, and like she listened to what he said the night before. So she apologizes, and she is just like, I didn't take your feelings into consideration. So I apologize. And then they talk about communication and their love languages, and they're both gift givers. So it's just like, oh, okay, y'all got more in common that you think. So y'all may just be in this for the long haul, but we shall see. So we see, let's see, we see Nick and Ace working out, and Ace was asking Nick, "Have you talked to Bella?" And he was just like, "Nah, not yet, not yet." And it's just like he's scared to talk to her. And so we see Bella walk by, and Ace was just like, "Well, there's your chance. Go ahead and go." And he was just like, "Okay." So he goes to pull Bella for a chat. So they go to the dock, and she basically he lets her know, like, he lets her know where his mind was at. He was just like I was I'm interested in you, but I felt a connection with her and I wanted to see where that would go, but I am still interested in you. And Bella was just like, I understand, but you should have told me that you felt that connection with her so I didn't look stupid. And she was just like, that's why I was asking you, where did you think your head was going to go, and where did you think you were going to go, like where was your head at? And you were telling me you with me, and then when we get to this thing you stand up with a quickness. So it's just like you made me look like a fool, and that's not cool, and I'm the cutoff queen, so I'm good. So it's like, I know that's right, you better know your worth, girl. Know your worth, because this man is, he playing games at this point, because I feel like he do like her. I feel like, because he keeps saying that Bella is his type. That's who he be with. That's his thing. But the issue is he ain't kissed that girl, and it's just like, I guess so. If that's what's holding you up, then go ahead and talk to Sierra. Like, yeah, so okay. So we see Chelley and Ace talking, so they're getting to know each other or whatever, and they're talking about, who's, if they're extroverts or introverts and all of that. So we see Chelley in the confessional. She was just like, every time I talk to Ace, it's just, it's like it gets better or something like that. And then Ace is in the confessional. He was just like, man, yeah, Chelley, yeah, she's something else. Yeah. I was just like, oh, he really likes her. He really likes her. He really, really likes her. I like that. I really, really like them together. I wish they were coupled up, but we shall see. So we see Olandria and Bella talking. So they're talking, and then Sierra comes over. And so she gives something to, I think she gives a fan to Olandria. And so they start talking about their, like, the guys. And so they basically, Sierra, because it was just Sierra and Bella basically talking at this point, and Olindria was just sitting there like, because they was going back and forth about like liking Nick, and they were just like, so we're in the same boat then. And Sierra was just like, yeah, we're in the same boat. Ain't no other guy that's catching my eye. I was just like, oh, she marking her territory. Okay, so this is a triangle that we have here. I hope somebody new comes in for somebody, because, whoo. So they're getting ready for the night, and Ace is a menace. So they're all getting ready they're like getting dressed and getting ready for the night. And Ace is talking to Taylor, and he's talking about how good of a conversation he had with Chelley, and how every time they talk, it just gets better. And he just, like, he is feeling her and all this other stuff. And he's having this whole conversation, and Austin is standing right there, like literally, like him and Taylor are right here, and then Austin is right here. And I was just like, oh my goodness. Ace is a menace. He is a menace, like a complete menace. Like he's going to be on this show for long, because he is making the show right now. So they've all dressed, and we see Jeremiah and Ace talking, and Ace was just like, so what's your type, Jeremiah? And Jeremiah was just like, foreign and something else. And so Ace was just like, so if something foreign come in, then that's what's gonna turn your head. And he was just like, at Jeremiah said, at this point, he was just like, right now, yeah, that's the only thing that would turn my head right now. And I was just like, see, Huda, that man, he ain't for you, he for the streets. He playing you. He is real life playing you. Cause he was quick to say, if that, like, you feeling, you talking about y'all mom and dad, y'all the parents, and y'all all in, and he talked about, oh, if something foreign comes in, that's gonna turn my head. But I thought y'all was all in. Who he gonna make? He gonna play. You gonna look stupid at the end of this, Huda. Like, you gonna look real stupid at the end of this. So they all go downstairs and they're, mingling or whatever, and then they get a text because they about to play a game. So the text tells them that they're gonna play a game regarding numbers. So we get the gist of the game. It's basically they're ranking from least to most, with some juicy questions. So the first question was who cheated the most. So they have to rank. They each team, like, it's boys against girls. So the boys are gonna rank which girl cheated from least to most, and the girls are ranking which boy cheated from least to most. So we get the roles like all the girls, none of the girls cheated. Chelley was the only one that cheated. So she cheated one time. So she was the number one, and they had picked her as the one who cheated the most. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they picked her. Austin cheated 6 times and they had picked him. Then they had who's had the most sex, who's had this question, the way they even read it, I was just like, huh? Okay, so the question is, who's had sex with the most people in one day? So they rank, I forgot how they ranked the people. I'm gonna just tell you, because it was just like, it was all over the place and some of them you couldn't see. I'm gonna just tell you who was the most in each round. So the most was Austin slept with 4 girls in one day. Huda and Chelley slept with 2 in one day. Huda said she slept with one guy and he didn't satisfy her, so she slept with another guy who did satisfy her. And when they even opened it up and it said 2, Austin was just like, damn. I mean, not Austin, but Ace. Ace was just like, damn. And he looked at he looked at Jeremiah like, huh. And then Huda was just like, and he was just like, my bad. And then as Huda was explaining herself, Ace was just looking at Jeremiah like, I was like, oh my God, Ace, you are a mess. And Chelley, again, she slept with 2 girls in one day. She was just like, I was dating 2 girls. I slept with one, spent the night, we did whatever, and then the other one came at the end of the night and we did whatever. And it was just like, okay, we respect that, because it's just like, okay, so it's not, she didn't sleep with 2 guys, so she slept with 2 girls, that's okay. So the next one was who's told the most people they love them. So Olandria, I don't even know. I don't think I wrote the answer for the girls, but they said, for the guys, I don't think they gave, for the girls. So let me say that again. The girls were putting them in a row, and Olandria was just like, oh, put Jeremiah at the beginning, like he's said it the most because he looks crazy. I was just like, she's so funny, she is so real for that. Oh my goodness. And Jeremiah was just like, huh? So we see who again. I can't remember the girls, but for the guys, they were like Nick said it 50 times, or he said it to 50 ladies, I guess, and Jeremiah said it to 10. Um, and again, I can't remember which girl said it the most. So then we get to who sent the most nudes. Child, Austin's Austin's is in the thousands, and then Huda sent 20. And when they opened it, Ace looked at he looked at Jeremiah like, just like, Ace, stop. Because he is really Ace is a menace. He is a menace. So then the last question is who has the highest body count? So Charlie has 108, and then Sierra had the highest. She had 18. So the boys win this, and they all jumping for joy and all this other stuff. And the girls are looking like y'all whack because y'all lied. Because they was like some of the questions they were when they were opening the answers, it was just like that's not what. So they were just like y'all lied. So we get the girls and the guys, they go and talk separately. So the girls are just like looking at Austin and Charlie like y'all different, because Austin had his body count was 104, and it was just like, I mean, he did say he was a pool boy, so I'm I'm not surprised that his body count was up there. I mean, he a pool boy, he liked to do that, I guess. um yeah, so they're looking at Austin Funny, and Huda was just like, he said I love you to like 10 girls or something like that. And she was just like, she feels like he's love bombing her and it's a red flag. And I was just like, oh, so now you see it's a red flag. Now you think it's a red flag because Olandria was telling you that like 2 days, not even two, she was telling you that yesterday. Like, he is too much. Like, he just telling girls like, I love you, I love you, I love you. And it's just like, and I don't even think that number that he gave was right. I low key think he was lying. I think he's said more, but whatever. So we get to the guys talking about talking about these questions, and Ace keeps he keeps asking Jeremiah. I'm sorry. He keeps asking Jeremiah, so how you feel about Huda sleeping with two guys in one day? And Jeremiah was just like, I always get them to the finish line. I always get them to the finish line. And Ace was just like, yeah, but what if you was that guy that, because she said the first guy didn't get her there, so she went to the second guy to get her there. What if you was the first guy? And Jeremiah was just like, but I always get them to the finish line. And Ace was just like, but what if she didn't get there, and she was just like, oh, thank you, babe, you got me there, but she really didn't get there. What would you do? What would you do? And Jeremiah, all in his feelings, like, that's a dumb question. Like, that's a dumb question. Like, you don't always get them to the finish line. Stop. You a lie. Whatever. Eh. So, Huda and Jeremiah, like, they go to the dock to talk. And this is like a going back and forth scene. So Ace is like talking to Taylor, and he was just like, did you see like how many girls, how many times Jeremiah said I love you to girls? He was just like, you don't see something wrong with that? And I was just like, yeah, he peeping game. He was just like, he was telling Taylor, he was just like, he just love bombing, and I don't think that's real. He was just like, I think he's playing it safe. He's playing it safe. That's not real. What him and Huda got ain't real. And I was just like, yep, he peeping game. He's side eyeing him, and I'm side. Well, I mean, we see it, so But yeah, so Huda and Jeremiah again, they're at the docks and they're talking, and she's asking him about the 10 I love yous, and he was just like, that was like, I said it to like when I was in, 15, 16, 17, when I was in like in high school, and he was just like, since 2020, it's only been like one or two. And I was just like, okay, whatever. So she's like, she finally tells him like that she got a daughter. So she's like first she's beating around the bush, and then she finally tells him. She was just like, I'm a mom. And he was just like, wait, what, you a mom? What, you a mom? And he was just like, and you 24? How many you got? And she was just like, one. And then he was just like, wow, oh my god, oh my god. And it looked like he starts crying. And so that's how it ends. And I was just like, yeah, I didn't like that reaction. I ain't like that at all. Like, from his reaction, and I wish and I hope she peeped game. He about to turn his head real quick, because he don't want to be with somebody that got a kid. I don't think he wants to be with somebody that got a kid. Cause the way he said that and did all of that, it was like, but then again, I mean, I don't know, because I'm just like, with I feel like everybody got a kid nowadays. I'm sorry. But it just I don't know, because I feel like that reaction was so over the top, because it was just like, she says she's a mom. Like, she was like, okay, that's what's up. How many kids do you have? But you just like, you're 24? Like, that's wrong to have a kid at 24. Like, what if she was married early and she had a kid and they got a divorce, or she's a widower or something? Like, having a kid at 20 is not like, that's the norm. Like, people are popping out kids at, nowadays they popping out kids at 16, 17, 18. Like, her having a kid at 20 is like I felt like he was judging her without judging her in that moment, and I ain't like it. I really didn't. But we shall see how he reacts to it some more with the next episode. This was a good episode. Again, Ace is a menace, and I hope he stays on Jeremiah's neck. I hope he stays on Jeremiah's neck. We needed somebody like that last season for Kendall, honestly. Like, we really needed somebody like Ace for last season, because somebody needed to stay on Kendall's neck. But anyways, we on season 7. We not going backwards. But if you like what you see, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.